Imagine a microscopic lock buried deep within a human cell, responsible for a devastating illness. Now, imagine trying to find the one perfectly shaped key to fit that lock out of 10 to the 60th power possible chemical compounds. That mind-bending number is larger than the total number of atoms in our solar system. For decades, this has been the grueling reality of pharmaceutical research. Scientists would spend years, sometimes entirely in the dark, synthesizing and testing molecules one by one. It was a process defined by brilliant intuition, but also by agonizingly slow trial and error. Today, that narrative is being violently, beautifully rewritten. The digital realm is crashing into the biological. We are standing at the precipice of a new era where human biological expertise merges with unprecedented computational power. At the heart of this transformation is machine learning, which refers to algorithms that improve automatically through experience and the ingestion of massive datasets. Instead of manually testing thousands of compounds in a physical laboratory, researchers are now unleashing these algorithms to scan vast digital libraries of chemical structures in mere hours. The machine does not sleep, it does not fatigue, and it can perceive microscopic patterns across millions of data points that would take a human lifetime to recognize. The sheer velocity of this shift is staggering. Historically, bringing a single new medication to market required over a decade of research and an average investment of $2 billion, with a failure rate hovering around 90%. Now, artificial intelligence is compressing the early stages of drug discovery from 5 years to a matter of months. This is not merely an upgrade in efficiency, it is a fundamental reinvention of how we understand disease and design cures, transforming a game of statistical chance into a process of precise, targeted engineering. To truly grasp the magnitude of this shift, we must look at one of biology's most notorious puzzles. For half a century, scientists were stumped by the protein folding problem. Proteins are the workhorses of the human body, dictating everything from muscle movement to immune response, and their function is determined entirely by their complex, three-dimensional shapes. But predicting how a linear chain of amino acids will fold into these intricate structures was considered nearly impossible. The math was simply too complex for human minds and traditional computers to solve within a practical time frame. Then came a watershed moment that permanently altered the landscape of molecular biology. Researchers at DeepMind introduced AlphaFold, an AI system that solved the protein folding problem with astonishing accuracy. This breakthrough was powered by neural networks, which are advanced computing systems inspired by the biological brain's interconnected web of neurons designed to recognize hidden patterns in unstructured data. By training on publicly available databases of known protein structures, AlphaFold learned to predict the shapes of nearly all cataloged proteins known to science. The scientific community was left in a state of subtle awe. Experts at the European Bioinformatics Institute, which partnered to make this database freely available to the world, recognized immediately that the rules of engagement had changed. What once took a doctoral student 4 years of painstaking crystallography to determine could now be generated on a laptop in minutes. This was not just a victory for computer science. It provided the foundational map required to design drugs that perfectly target specific malfunctioning proteins in the human body. But the true magic happens in the intertwining of these systems with human ingenuity. This human-AI collaboration is the ultimate binary bridge. The machine provides the raw predictive power, generating highly accurate molecular modeling data, while the human scientist provides the biological context and the creative spark. An algorithm might suggest a novel compound that binds perfectly to a cancer protein in a simulation, but it requires a human pharmacologist to ask if that compound will be toxic to the liver, or if it can survive the acidic environment of the human stomach. This dynamic partnership is uncovering targets that human researchers simply missed. Because AI can process biological data in high dimensions, it identifies subtle correlations between genetic markers and disease pathways that are invisible to the naked eye. We are discovering that diseases we thought were monolithic, like certain types of Alzheimer's or breast cancer, are actually a mosaic of different molecular failures. The algorithm highlights the anomaly, and the human researcher steps in to investigate the underlying biology. We are now moving beyond simply discovering existing molecules to actively inventing them. Generative AI models, similar in architecture to those that write text or create images, are being trained on the laws of chemistry and physics. Scientists are prompting these models with specific parameters, asking them to hallucinate entirely new chemical structures that have never existed in nature. These generative systems can design a bespoke molecule optimized for maximum efficacy and minimum side effects, effectively acting as an automated, hyper-intelligent chemist. Yet, a simulation is only a hypothesis until it meets the messy reality of biology. The bridge must extend from the silicon chip back to the petri dish. Once the AI generates a promising list of candidates, human scientists synthesize these novel molecules in physical laboratories, known as wet labs, to validate the computer's predictions. This physical validation step is crucial. It feeds real-world biological responses back into the algorithm, creating a continuous feedback loop that makes the AI smarter, more accurate, and more attuned to the nuances of human physiology with every iteration. The societal implications of this accelerated timeline are profound, particularly for those suffering from rare genetic disorders. Historically, pharmaceutical companies struggled to justify the massive financial risk of developing treatments for diseases that affect only a few thousand people globally. This economic reality left millions of patients known as therapeutic orphans behind. By drastically lowering the cost and time required for initial discovery, artificial intelligence is making it economically viable to pursue cures for these neglected conditions. Consider the economic ripple effect across the entire healthcare ecosystem. When you remove years of dead-end research and failed clinical trials from the pipeline, the fundamental economics of medicine begin to shift. While we have yet to see a massive drop in consumer drug prices, the structural reset occurring within research and development suggests a future where the barrier to entry for creating life-saving therapeutics is exponentially lower. The traditional monopoly held by massive pharmaceutical conglomerates is being challenged by nimble, AI-first biotech startups. This digital acceleration is also colliding with other monumental biological advancements. We are seeing the integration of AI with CRISPR gene editing, a revolutionary technology allowing scientists to precisely alter DNA sequences and modify targeted gene function. While CRISPR provides the molecular scissors to edit the human genome, artificial intelligence provides the map, predicting exactly where to make the cut to cure a genetic disease without causing unintended off-target mutations. And this is just the beginning of a profound shift toward personalized medicine. We are moving away from the era of blockbuster drugs designed to treat the average patient with average symptoms. In the near future, an AI system could sequence your individual genome, analyze your specific tumor profile, and custom design a targeted therapeutic molecule tailored exclusively to your unique biological makeup. The medicine of tomorrow will not be pulled from a shelf. It will be compiled, computed, and synthesized just for you. But what if the pursuit of unprecedented speed compromises our deeply ingrained safety protocols? The real challenge lies in navigating the tension between rapid digital innovation and the cautious, rigorous nature of medical regulation. Algorithms are optimized for efficiency, but human biology is wildly unpredictable. If an AI-designed drug fails catastrophically in a human trial, the fallout could set the entire field back a decade. The ethical mandate is clear. We must ensure that our digital enthusiasm does not outpace our clinical responsibility. Compounding this ethical dilemma is the inherent opacity of deep neural networks. Many of these advanced models operate as a black box. A scientist feeds data into the system, and the system outputs a perfectly designed drug candidate, but the machine cannot explain the intermediate steps it took to arrive at that conclusion. In the high-stakes world of medicine, where human lives hang in the balance, blind trust in an algorithm is deeply unsettling. We require a clear chain of reasoning. This has sparked an urgent push for explainable AI within the biotech sector. Researchers are demanding models that not only predict the best molecular structure but also provide a transparent rationale for their choices. Regulatory bodies like the Food and Drug Administration are actively adapting to this new reality, working alongside data scientists to establish frameworks for validating AI-generated evidence. Explaining this process to the public is vital. The human-machine interface must be built on mutual legibility, ensuring that human oversight remains central to the approval process. We must also confront the hidden dangers lurking within the data itself. An artificial intelligence is only as objective as the information it consumes. Historically, genomic data and clinical trial populations have been overwhelmingly skewed toward individuals of European descent. If we train our drug discovery algorithms on biased datasets, we risk engineering a new generation of highly effective medicines that only work optimally for a specific demographic, inadvertently widening global health disparities. As we work to solve these human-centric challenges, the technological horizon continues to expand outward. The next frontier of this revolution involves quantum computing, a rapidly emerging technology that harnesses the counterintuitive laws of quantum mechanics to solve problems vastly too complex for classical computers. While traditional computers process information in binary ones and zeros, quantum systems can exist in multiple states simultaneously, allowing them to process complex molecular interactions at an unimaginable scale. When we finally bridge the gap between artificial intelligence and quantum architecture, the impact on drug discovery will be earth-shattering. Today, even our best AI models rely on approximations when simulating how a drug interacts with a protein. A quantum AI system could simulate the exact behavior of every single electron in a chemical reaction in real time. We will move from highly educated predictions to absolute chemical certainty, eliminating the guesswork from molecular design entirely. It is a profound departure from the serendipity that defined the 20th century of medicine. Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin by accident when mold contaminated a petri dish. For generations, humanity relied on a combination of brilliant observation and sheer luck to find cures in the natural world. We isolated compounds from willow bark, from soil bacteria, and from sea sponges. That era of accidental discovery is closing, replaced by an era of deliberate, deterministic engineering. Consequently, the very definition of a biologist is undergoing a radical transformation. The scientists leading this charge are no longer just peering through microscopes or pipetting clear liquids in a sterile room. They are fluent in Python, they understand data architecture, and they are writing the code that commands the biological world. A new kind of polymath is emerging, a researcher who stands perfectly balanced on the binary bridge, speaking the language of both organic chemistry and artificial intelligence. This multidisciplinary approach is already yielding astonishing secondary benefits. Beyond discovering new drugs, AI is becoming incredibly adept at predicting adverse side effects before a clinical trial even begins. By cross-referencing a new molecule against vast databases of historical clinical data and physiological models, the algorithm can flag potential toxicities that might have otherwise remained hidden until late-stage human testing. This foresight saves billions of dollars and, more importantly, protects human volunteers from harm. Ultimately, this technological convergence is democratizing the power of creation. The tools required to design a life-saving therapeutic are no longer locked behind the multi-billion-dollar budgets of massive corporations. Open-source models, cloud computing, and shared biological databases are empowering small teams of visionary scientists to tackle global health crises. We are witnessing a decentralization of scientific discovery, where a brilliant idea backed by a powerful algorithm can change the world from a small lab anywhere on the planet. We are navigating a breathtaking transition in the history of human health. The AI revolution in drug discovery is not a story of machines replacing human scientists, but of machines elevating human potential to meet the scale of our most daunting diseases. From data to cures, this binary bridge we are building represents the most profound expression of our desire to heal, an intertwining of our deepest compassion with our highest technological achievements. The digital mind has learned the language of life, and the conversation is just beginning.